Hey friends, Joe the Farmer here, and in today's video we're going to do a pretty fun video about the 5 things that we think that you should have on your tractor, or if you're looking at a tractor, 5 things to consider if you're going to buy one. This is inspired by my buddy Capper from Capper Outdoors. He just put out a great video of the 5 things he thinks is important, and I'm going to try not to copy any of his, but in this video I'm going to show you the 5 things I think are important on a tractor. At the end of this video, challenge 3 other channels to do the same. This way we can get as much content out there as possible on what kind of 5 things you should look at when you're buying a tractor. So we're going to take one of these big horns down there. I've got the big horn, and we kind of call this one the little horn. I don't really have a better name for it yet, but Clay may be driving that thing in a little bit. He's still in bed. But I'll take this one and we'll go down the barn and we'll get into it. This humidity this year has been brutal. I don't know what part of the country y'all are watching this from, but let me know and tell me if it's been as bad where you are, because I mean, it is like cut it with a knife humid. Also, I moved the electric side-by-side down here. Not sure what that is under it. It looks like it's leaking something. I don't know if that's from this machine or not. It doesn't look like it. Anyway, we really just use this in the during the hunting season. Electric machines just don't have the power. They don't have the ability that gas or diesel machines have. But we've had this since 2017, and it's been a nice little machine. While we're over here talking about this tractor, I'm gonna start this F350, let it run a little bit, get some diesel moving through it. If you watch the Gulu video we just did, it should start right up. And again, in the heat, these things are usually pretty reliable. It's when it gets cold out, they get a little bit more challenging, but let's see if it starts right up. Battery's looking good. What are you? Get out. Well, started right up. So we're gonna let that run for a minute and we're gonna go talk about the tractor. So let's talk about the tractor real quick. So this is a Coyote RX 7320. I bought it because I had a DK55 10 Coyote, and the dealership that I work with, which I've talked about them on the channel before, they're fantastic to work with. Larry Stove Sand Equipment, lsetractor.com. I have zero affiliation with that dealership other than the fact that I bought machines from them. And the reason why I don't mind, you know, talking about how great they are is because they treat us well, you know, and that's what you want from any tractor dealership. The big difference between buying a vehicle or a side-by-side or a truck or a car is when you buy one of these, you're buying the dealership, not the machine. Remember that. Like, that's super important. So if you're brand new to tractors and you're just now starting, I think any tractor person would agree with me who owns a tractor. You are buying a dealership, not the brand or machine. So find someone convenient, find someone who takes their time with you, find someone who is actually going to really appreciate your business. Because if you go to a dealership which has maybe a hue color like that and they big time you, stay away from it. Find some place that's going to take care of you. But anyway, Coyote RX 7320, 73 horsepower machine. I leave the hood up because it keeps rodents from getting in the hood. If you keep it in a barn or a shed or anywhere like that, they just don't feel safe under here. I've talked about that before. But let's get into the 5 things that I think you absolutely should consider if you're going to buy a tractor. Number 1, and I'm surprised Capper didn't cover this, third function. This is the thing with one of these tractors and one of these machines. You are paying the entry fee to buy it. Like, if it's $30,000, this may make it $31,000, $31,500. Yes, it's $1,500. Yes, it's more money on a payment. It's going to be nothing, but this makes the entire thing so much more useful. You can have a bucket, which you likely will come with a bucket. Capper actually said in his video to have a loader, which absolutely get a loader. Don't buy a tractor without a loader. Even if you're just mowing, the loader makes it so much more handy to have it, and you get more bang for your buck. That incremental cost of all these things we're going to talk about makes the tractor 5 times as valuable, not just a little bit more valuable to you. All the jobs that this thing does, the bucket's great. Third function lets us get a grapple on there. And then also, you could do the bucket that has the pinchers on it, post hole diggers, all kinds of stuff off there. So first thing absolutely get a third function on your loader. Second thing, and this one's huge. These are called rear remotes. Now, most people who are shopping for tractors, you're probably not shopping for something this big. You're probably thinking to yourself, maybe I should turn this off. I'm looking for something smaller. There's a lot of similarities between this, a tiny machine, and a massive machine. They're very, very, very similar. This one has more horsepower, more hydraulic flow, so you can have what's called rear remotes. Now, these rear remotes will operate things from the cab, which I agree with Capper 100%. Buy a cab. Even if, if it's gonna stretch you a little bit, buy the cab, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But this is called a hydraulic top link. This is an incredibly cheap implement. This is like a couple $100. But I'm telling you, to have this thing hooked up to your hydraulics here in the back and your rear remotes, this raises and lowers the implement, helps you set up to it, helps you get on here to where you're just sitting in the seat, operating a lever, getting this implement, which is, 1,000 pounds, on the back of the tractor without you having to get out here and fight it in the heat, in the humidity, in the cold, in the wind, in the snow. A couple $100. Buy this thing. Most tractors now that come with accessories are coming with one set of remotes, which should operate anything like this. It's a hydraulic top link. Absolutely 100% get the hydraulic top link. Now, we're moving around here a little bit, and you see this big Coyote KH20 thing. What this is this is a quick hitch. This is a category 1, I believe, but this tractor is way bigger than this quick hitch. However, I bought the tractor for the horsepower and for the frame. This is essential to us because I have all of these other implements I had with my DK5510. So I don't necessarily want to go buying all new implements, and I don't want to set everything up to this thing every single time I'm trying to do it. Today, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to do some easy mowing on some trails to get around the property. We grow hay out here. We don't want to mow everything down all the time, but we do need to be able to get around the farm without eating the hay. So this setup makes it incredibly simple. All I have to do is back up to it. These little suckers right here, latch on. When I go to pick that up, that'll lock it in. But you will have to get some of these adapters for your implements, but these are about 20 bucks a piece. They're not bad. Put them on all of the machine or all of your implements. Very, very simple. And I can't recommend the quick hitch enough. I can't recommend the hydraulic top link enough. So this would be number 2. And this would be number 3. Now moving on to number 4. This is a no-brainer. I don't think anybody's doing this anymore. This is a skid steer quick attach. These handles right here, I'm not going to demonstrate all this stuff right now because I'm pretty sure you guys probably have the idea. But don't ever buy a tractor that doesn't have skid steer quick attach. This lets you put the bucket to the forks, to the grapple, to whatever you want to put on the front. I've seen sprayer rigs on the front. All you have to do is pull those handles, go into the implement, lock it in, and you're ready to roll. And if you need hydraulics, well, we've already talked about number 1. That's the third function. So number 4 would absolutely be get skid steer quick attach. Don't fall for some pin-on proprietary thing or, hey, you could do that later. No, don't do it later. Do it now. These are all things you should do before you take delivery of your tractor. Skid steer quick attach, third function, quick hitch, and of course we talked about the hydraulic top link, which is right there. Now, I know that Capper talked about this too, but a cab is incredibly important. I went from my DK5510 to the cab tractor because of the humidity. If you could look at my face right now, which again, this is great TV, isn't it? But I mean, it is like, it's hot. And I'm gonna go out there mowing for a couple hours. And if you're gonna do that, going back to what I said originally, these are machines that you have an entry price, right? Your entry price is gonna be somewhere around a set amount. The extra money doesn't set you back as much as buying the new machine. I would rather personally buy a used machine with all of these things than buying a brand new one with them. But the cost is so marginal. I mean, I think on this machine, you're probably talking about, what, $3,000 of options, and that's maybe, less than, 5% of the cost of the machine? 5–10% of what the machine costs altogether. This quick hitch is about $400 or $500, $200–300, so it's $700. The cab's a couple thousand, which that's a expense. Third function's about $1,000–1,500 depending on where it is. And most tractors are coming with the skid steer quick attach. Some people kind of try and trick you and say, you don't need it, or this is a value machine. Skip it. Don't buy the value machine. This isn't like buying a Buick. You're gonna have this thing for a really, really long time. The reason I was talking about the cab is that the amount of hours you put on these machines, you know, take what you pay for it, divide it by the hours that you put on it, that's what your real cost per hour is. If that cab makes you want to sit in that machine for longer, get more work done, and not have to hire things out, the cab starts paying for itself very, very quickly. Heat in the wintertime, air conditioning in the summer, and number 5 would absolutely be get the cab, get the cab, get the cab. So with that said, love the machine. Coyote's been a great tractor, but listen, they're all good now. Social media and all this kind of, you know, these networks and these communities we've all built, someone puts out junk, we share it, and they know it, and they're pretty careful about quality control, but this has been a great machine. I've had a couple little issues with it in the beginning, but any machine's gonna have issues as it breaks in, and all of those issues, I don't even think about them being problems, because my dealership, you know, I called them, boom, taken care of, they pick it up, and like within a day it's brought back. You know, it's just, that's the kind of people you're dealing with, and that's the kind of people you should deal with wherever you're in the country. But super happy with that. Had a couple people reach out, say they bought RXs, and they're really happy with them too. So not here to sell you a tractor. I'm here to tell you what implements and what things I think you should consider when you're buying a tractor. And earlier in the video, I did say I would challenge 3 other channels. 1, I challenge you, Brad from Piney Grove Homestead. Tell us the 5 things that you would absolutely have to have on a tractor. You could cheat and use your excavator and flex. We know you have an excavator, but I would say do that on a tractor if you can. 2nd, my Wild Cody Adventure. Great guy, great channel. He's actually working at a Coyote dealership now, so maybe he'll have some more modern, newer stuff that's coming out. I have no idea. And the 3rd one will be my buddy Josh, Stony Ridge Farmer. Josh, we know you have more tractors than Kellogg's has cornflakes, buddy. Show us the 5 things that you, the OG, you know, the godfather of the group, you know, what are the 5 things that you would not buy a machine without? Because I think that this kind of thing, I mean, this is huge. This is helpful. Capper, thanks for starting this thread. Hopefully we'll keep this thing going. And as you guys are talking about, you know, the 5 things you like, make sure you give a little credit to the guys who send you the challenge, and then you have to go challenge 3 other people. So appreciate y'all watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Give us a like, comment down below. Tell us the things that I left off that you think you absolutely need to have on a tractor, and have a great summer. See y'all soon. Joe the Farmer, we out.